Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 Joseph Jaworski Leadership Award virtual event. And now, your host, Cambrell Marshall.
Hello, I'm Cambrell Marshall, KPRC Channel 2 meteorologist and host of Houston Newsmakers, and a proud member of American Leadership Forum Class 23. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 Joseph Jaworski Leadership Award virtual event. Our theme this year is a call to lead. We believe that this idea captures a sentiment that so many of us are feeling. During the past several months, our world has changed. We're facing a global pandemic, an economic crisis, and a social movement born of long-standing racial injustice and inequality in our country. Many of us are asking, what can I do? How am I being called to lead? One of the hallmarks of great leadership is the ability to adapt, to adjust to new conditions. ALF has done just that by creating new and relevant programs to support our senior fellows during this very difficult time, by reshaping our leadership program to successfully launch 3 new virtual leadership classes, and by reimagining our most important annual event as a virtual experience to allow us to gather together, yet still doing our part to help keep our communities safe. While the way we are gathering is different this year, our purpose for gathering remains the same. Every year, this event brings together our ALF family along with friends from across the Houston region and beyond to support ALF's leadership programs and raise funds for scholarships so that all who are invited can participate in this transformative work. If you are willing and able, we invite you to support our current and future leaders by making a contribution. Text JAD to 91999. During this show, you'll meet several ALF senior fellows who are serving on the front lines of the multiple challenges we face. We will continue our tradition of honoring exceptional leaders with our 2020 Joseph Jaworski Leadership and ALF Public Service Awards. And for the first time since stepping into her new role, we will hear publicly from our new ALF president, Nory Angel. But first, let's step back to the year 1980 when a Houston attorney and business leader named Joseph Jaworski answered the call to lead. He stepped away from his successful law practice to address what he and others increasingly saw as a crisis of leadership throughout the country. He watched the many challenges our nation was facing and came to the conclusion that developing and equipping leaders with skills, relationships, and a strong moral compass could contribute to the common good. And thus, the American Leadership Forum was born right here in Houston. Fast forward almost 40 years, and ALF is a national network of 10 chapters across 7 states. We have more than 4,500 senior fellows nationwide, and more than 1,400 of them right here in the greater Houston area. As we face the current challenges before us, it's important to remember that ALF was created for a time such as this. For nearly 40 years, we've been joining and strengthening diverse leaders to serve the common good. The skills we've learned and the deep relationships we built are serving us well in this moment. Let's take a look at how a few of our senior fellows are answering the call to lead. Senior fellow Maria Elena Bertazzi is the Associate Dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine and the co-director of Texas Children's Center for Vaccine Development at Baylor College of Medicine. An internationally recognized vaccinologist and global health advocate, Maria Elena has been making biotechnology advances for more than 2 decades. Not only does she have a track record of bringing vaccines from the lab to the clinic, she works to empower young scientists to build strong networks and help solve global health issues. Maria Elena is currently working to develop a COVID-19 vaccine with her team at Baylor. Here's what she told us about answering the call to lead.
So from the moment I heard about this outbreak going on in China, I definitely knew I was going to be called to lead. I certainly talked to my team and said, let's be ready. This may be the chance that our vaccine will be able to come and help a lot of people around the globe. And certainly, with my partner, Peter Hotes, we were ready. ALF was an enormous influence. The learnings about moral courage really allowed me to realize that I did have moral courage. And the support from the ALF network was amazing. From cards, text messages, and certainly, just being there, so has been really amazing for me. I wouldn't have done it without you all. Thank you.
Senior Fellow Brian Greene is President and CEO of the Houston Food Bank, the largest Feeding America food bank in the nation, and the 2015 Food Bank of the Year. In 2019, the Houston Food Bank distributed 104 million nutritious meals through its network of 1,500 community partners. These unprecedented times have created a tremendous need for food assistance. Here's what Brian Greene had to say.
I was asked my thoughts on answering the call to lead. And you think about the COVID crisis, society sure needs a lot of that right now. As you know, the COVID crisis is not just a health issue, it's also an economic issue, and it's an education issue, and it's a mental health issue, and it's a social fabric issue. Here at Houston Food Bank, our response has been to try and get as much economic resources in the form of food and other assistance to these families, literally hundreds of thousands of families. But if you know much about Houston Food Bank, you know that we try to do everything in collaboration. We can't step up if others don't step up. And this is where so many ALF senior fellows have proven invaluable, as they've been willing to answer this call to lead. And we've been very happy to be supported with them. ALF fellows, including Mayor Sylvester Turner, Commissioners Rodney Ellis and Adrian Garcia, Jerry Davis with Houston City Council, Liso Helfman with Brighter Bites and HEB, Marie Arcos with YMCA, Gwen Sims with Harris County Public Health, and so many more. We would not be able to do this if there weren't so many ALF senior fellows willing to answer the call to lead, and I'm very appreciative for everything you're doing.
Mia Wright is the co-pastor and director of ministry at the Fountain of Praise alongside her husband, Pastor Remus E. Wright. The couple leads a congregation of more than 20,000 members, making theirs one of the largest churches in the United States. She leads the church's women's ministry and the social media platforms. Her efforts in the community have been widely recognized, earning her a list of accolades from distinguished organizations. Here's what Mia had to say about answering the call to lead.
In June 2020, the Fountain of Praise was honored to serve the family of George Floyd, the citizens of his hometown, Houston, Texas, and humanity in general by being the site of his final viewing and funeral. Amid COVID-19 concerns and social gathering restrictions, my husband, Senior Pastor Dr. Remus Wright, and our leadership team opened up the doors to the Floyd family and to the world. However, in a matter of days, as many of us witnessed, this became more than just the passing of a loved one. It became a movement that arose around the circumstances of Mr. Floyd's death. The funeral swiftly became a worldwide stage that called for action and competent leadership. Many skilled staff members and volunteers took leadership roles behind the scenes to ensure the safety and health of thousands of visitors and family members. Dr. Wright and I worked to ensure an uplifting and inspiring program that would be fitting for this historical moment and for this family. After the funeral, Dr. Wright and we spoke on several local, national, and international platforms. The call to lead this season utilizes these opportunities to raise the voices of those who should be heard. Our role is to educate, equip, and empower people with knowledge. In the area of social justice, I'm equipping educators to teach others about systemic racism and how it affects all Americans. Being a part of Class 45 with the American Leadership Forum encouraged me to connect intentionally with others to build community and to understand belonging. The readings, the dialogue, activity, personal reflection, and overall experience served as a structure for how to lead in times of transformation. We educate, we listen, we converse, we reflect, and we make changes to make a difference in our world.
The American Leadership Forum is dedicated to supporting leaders like Maria Elena, Brian, and Mia, who are working tirelessly to serve the common good. With so many challenges facing our community, leadership is needed now more than ever. With your help, we can expand our programs and services to continue to make a difference in the lives of Houston area leaders as they work to make a difference in the lives of the people they serve. Text JAD to 91999. Some of us know Nory Angel from her executive leadership roles in workforce development and education. Others know her from her meaningful volunteer leadership with local organizations and causes, and there are those of us who know her as an ALF Senior Fellow and proud member of Class 30. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce the new president of the American Leadership Forum Houston, Nory Angel.
Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us in supporting the American Leadership Forum's work in connecting and strengthening diverse leaders to serve a common good. This event is an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate our honorees, Dan Snare, Sue and Randy Sim, and each of you for answering the call to lead. These are historic times we are living in, providing us with so many opportunities to lead through a global pandemic, the ongoing reality of racial injustice, and an economic downturn. We are living in tremendous uncertainty and concern for our well-being and that of our families, neighbors, and businesses. We are divided as a society, polarized and politicized from public health to the public good. We are grappling with the powerful question of how do we build a more equitable, more just, and inclusive society. After 20 years of working in the community, I strongly believe the answer to this question resides in each of us. For the past 40 years, ALF's mission has focused on preparing and activating Houston's diverse leaders to respond to a specific calling that lies in each of us, a call to lead. To lead through uncertainty, to experiment with possibilities, and to envision a more just, equitable, and inclusive society that benefits all of us. The word leader comes from Old English and means to go before as a guide, to bring forth. While the act of leading can be traced to the beginning of time, the study of leadership is in fact a new field. So new that the term of leadership and leader has been adapted in other languages. In French, we say le leader, and in Spanish, we say el líder. Not surprisingly, it was Joe Jaworski, our founder, who said, "Before you can lead others, you have to discover yourself." Self-discovery, the ability to travel within, is an essential leadership quality as we begin to explore and deeply reflect on what is precious to us, what is expendable, and what are we willing to do for justice, for equity, for good. Through my ALF experience, I've come to the conclusion that leadership is about having the courage to ask ourselves the difficult and powerful questions as we enter the space of inquiry and channel that into curiosity. A curiosity and moral courage to recognize and change the social, economic systems that create injustice, inequity, and lack of access to opportunity. It's about reaching across the aisle and finding allies who believe so strongly in the common good that they are willing to suspend judgment long enough for other possibilities to emerge. And most importantly, I've learned that leadership is not about building a critical mass, but instead about developing critical connections. Relationships are the cornerstone of ALF. It's the secret sauce that makes working towards the common good possible. In the upcoming year, we will embark on a strategic listening and visioning tour. We are developing a plan and a methodology for reaching the hearts and the minds of our senior fellows and our community allies in the important mission of transforming our communities. ALF will call on its senior fellows to lead. ALF will connect its senior fellows to each other and to others in our community that share the same passion and ambition to improve our region. ALF will also support our senior fellows as they continue their journey of self-awareness and personal growth. Because as you change and grow and reconnect with your transformational purpose as a leader, so goes Houston. Many of you watching are senior fellows, and as such, we have made a deep commitment to serving the common good. We may not all be on the front lines working to create the next vaccine, like our senior fellow, Dr. Patasi. But we can individually and as a network do more to ensure access to healthcare for all. And yes, the economic instability is directly impacting our community, but perhaps this too is an opportunity to tap into the powerful brain trust that ALF offers our city in terms of intellectual and social capital, and our ganas, our willingness to lead. Let me end with ALF's oldest question. Are you in?
Thank you so much, Nory, for that inspiring message. And now the moment that many of you have been waiting for, the 2020 Leadership and Public Service Awards. Before we meet our honorees, though, we want to take a moment to express our gratitude to this year's award sponsors, the Memorial Hermann Foundation and HEB. Thank you for supporting our leaders and for investing in our work. Here are Senior Fellows, Ann Neeson and Liso Helfman, to present this year's awards.
Hello, I'm Ann Neeson, Executive Vice President and CEO of the Memorial Hermann Foundation, and I'm a proud member of Class of 37. Memorial Hermann is pleased to sponsor the American Leadership Forum's Public Service Award, and it is my great honor to present it to the immediate past president, Dan Snare. Dan and I first met when I began my ALF journey, and what impresses all of us who meet him is his unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. From all of us here at Memorial Hermann, congratulations, Dan. Thank you for your 40 years of public service and all you have done for our community and for its leaders.
Both of my parents were educators. So I grew up in an environment where I was inspired by two people whose mission in life was to help others, to help them achieve their goals, their dreams, their aspirations. And I think all of that set some course for me, some inner calling to do something that I felt was meaningful and would have impact on the world around me. When I graduated from college, and I was very fortunate to get an opportunity to join a small organization called the Texas Society to Prevent Blindness. So as a result of working for the Texas Society to Prevent Blindness, I got noticed by and recruited by and had an opportunity to go to work for the American Diabetes Association. And I spent 14 years with that organization in Texas, in California, and in Pennsylvania. And from there, my passion for healthcare as a way of serving really grew. And I continued in that for 35 years. And then I had the opportunity to spend almost 10 years in the field of HIV and AIDS, running an organization that provided a full spectrum of services to low-income people living with HIV and AIDS. I was very fortunate when I was leading Bearing Omega Community Services in the HIV/AIDS field here in town to be invited to participate in the American Leadership Forum program. And it was life-changing and it inspired me to look at leadership in a different way. And then when my predecessor retired and I was a senior fellow of the American Leadership Forum, I threw my hat in the ring and was very fortunate to be given the opportunity to lead the organization. I was very, very flattered and very honored that they felt that my contributions were significant and meaningful enough to ask me to receive this award. It's really a reflection of all of the people that I've had the opportunity to work with, the volunteers who committed to serve on their board, do the hard work to raise the money to pay for the services, to serve on the committees that planned and executed the programs. And to be able to be a part of empowering people to do that has been the greatest gift of my career. Tragically lost both of my parents when they were quite young. So they were not able to see much of my career, and I was not able to perhaps understand all that they had given to me and to thank them and honor them in the way that I certainly would like to now. So for the last 20 plus years, my one of my guiding principles has been to lead a life that I know they would be proud of and to be the man that they hoped I would be and that they raised me to be. And so I very much believe that they're here at this moment looking down, and I hope they're proud.
Hi, I'm Liso Helfman, ALF Senior Fellow and proud member of Medical Community Class 4. As HEB's Director of Public Affairs for the Houston region, I speak for all of us at HEB when I say that we are honored to be part of the Joseph Jaworski Leadership Award celebration. Our sponsorship of this award is fitting because it aligns so well with HEB's corporate values: service, heart for people, drive, innovation, commitment, and above all, community. Good leaders, they live these values, and that is true for the two recipients of this year's award, Sue and Randy Sim. Their stories, while unique, represent the stories of so many immigrants who come to this country seeking a better life. And through their hard work and leadership, they make life better for all of us. Sue and Randy, for the many contributions you have made and continue to make every day in business, government, education, and nonprofit leadership, HEB is proud to present you with this award.
Our family was, I could say, classic immigrant story. My mom is originally from North Korea, and she escaped at a young age and met my father, and they got married. My dad, at a young age, had polio in one of his legs, and he was luckily sponsored by electronics repair company here in Houston. And after a number of years, my father was able to open up his own TV shop.
We came over when I was 4, and initially, my father still worked in Seoul, so he would go back and forth months at a time. And it was my mother who really just raised the three of us. I think through her grace and her quiet leadership, she too was very reserved and shy, but because she kind of paved the way for us, looking back, I can absolutely admire her even more.
Watching my dad through house calls for TV repairs, or working as an owner of a motel and many other businesses, I never saw him with a handicap. I realize today that really there are no limitations to what you can do, and so that's hopefully how I live my life.
You know, when we started having children, you know, you just not only you want to take care of all the people that you love and care around you, and it kind of just starts there. And I think that's where it originally started, and we wanted a great community, you know, and so I think it kind of started there for us as a couple.
I think originally I helped out with the community, principally in the Korean American community and the Asian community, because I wanted to help people like my own parents, right? So that they would have a voice, a seat at the table, to be in the room where decisions are made, and have the opportunities that we were allowed. So we're extremely grateful.
I think the most important is just gratitude. I think it all stems from that. Just always being grateful for having each other, for what we have, stable family, wonderful friends, wonderful sense of community. And I think always looking back and giving back, I think, is so important in whatever way we can.
I definitely agree. I mean, you know, I think we're also fortunate to be in a position where we can give of ourselves and of our resources. And so I think we're fortunate to be able to do that. When they told me about this wonderful, amazing honor, we tried to usually stay out of the limelight and such. So, it was an inner struggle for us. Yeah.
Just to be even considered or thought of in that sort of way was, number one, of course, superbly humbling, but just overwhelmingly grateful.
Yeah, and especially to be recognized from the organization that we love, and of course the people that we love, means everything, means the world.
ALF founder Joseph Jaworski believes in synchronicity, the idea that events are connected in meaningful ways. Perhaps it's no coincidence, then, that ALF was founded in Houston, an organization with a mission to join and strengthen diverse leaders in a place that would eventually become the most diverse city in the country. Few people know the city of Houston better than one of our own senior fellows, Dr. Stephen Klineberg, professor of sociology and founding director of the Kinder Institute of Urban Research at Rice University.
Well, thank you all, guys. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here, to be able to share with you what we all understand to be the central importance of what ALF is doing in terms of preparing our diverse leadership for success in a very different world, in a world where education, never very important, has become absolutely critical from birth to college, from cradle to career, a world above all of multi-ethnic diversity. This biracial southern city dominated by white men throughout all of its history has now become the single most ethnically diverse metropolitan area in the country. By 2050, all of America will look like Houston looks today. We are there first. We are called on to build something that has never existed before in human history. A truly successful, inclusive, equitable, united, multi-ethnic society made up of all the peoples, all the religions, all the ethnicities of the world gathered together in one remarkable place. This is the Houston's destiny as it reinvents itself for the 21st century. ALF and its harnessing of diverse leaders and developing that tremendous sense of connection and confidence that comes from the year of experience together, that really is building the critical infrastructure for the leadership of the 21st century and for preparing Houston for success in the very different world that lies ahead. Thank you all very much and for your support and for being such an important part of the ALF family as we build the Houston of the 21st century.
Thank you for joining us for the 2020 Joseph Jaworski Leadership Award virtual event. As we say goodbye, I want to say a special thanks to Kimbrell Marshall for his extraordinary contribution to this event. I also want to express my sincere thanks to our ALF board and committee members, and our dedicated faculty and staff who keep our mission alive. To our senior fellows, thank you for your deep commitment to our community, which inspires all of us every day. And lastly, I want to acknowledge our generous sponsors and supporters who made this gathering possible. Thank you for helping us answer the call to lead.